the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. You'll be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. You'll be fooled by the rocks that I got.
My guest started her journey in 2009, working in a growing hair care company beside her aunt. Gaining a BA in finance at Texas Southern University in 2017, she returned to the company and worked every single role possible. After a hard battle with breast cancer, her aunt passed away in 2021 at the age of 42. This 27-year-old niece and employee became the youngest hair care CEO in the industry. In her 3 years as CEO, this millennial executive has grown TGIN with placement in over 12,000 stores, including Walmart, Target, Ulta, and Sally Beauty, and has grown the brand internationally and even had time to enroll in pilot school. We're going to talk about that a little later. Welcome to Ags Jen, CEO of Thank God It's Natural and fellow Detroit girl. We have to make that super clear.
Okay.
Aris is from Detroit. Aris Singleton.
Thank you so much.
Welcome,
dear.
welcome, welcome. What does it feel like to be back home?
Oh my gosh, home. I absolutely love Detroit, born and raised here. So to be sitting here, sitting with you is super important to me. And I'm so excited.
I'm glad you're excited because like I said, this is going to be a long episode. Get comfortable. I feel like we hear about people like you, but they don't look like us and they're not from where we are from. So your story is so unique and hopefully I do an excellent job telling it. And everybody get your notebooks out. We are learning today. This is not just a fun episode where I like to play games and talk shit. Class is in session, honey. You already know my first question. The blue hair. Like, what's up with the blue hair? We've seen it in curls. We've seen it in locks.
Oh my gosh, what is the story about the blue hair? So I was living in Texas, and when I moved to Chicago, I was just like, I just need a little something. So I had just cut all my hair off. So I had the TWA, the teeny weeny afro. And I was like, it needs some color or some life to it. So I dyed it blue, and blue just stuck. It's been like 6 years.
Consistent. I like that.
Okay.
I feel like we can't talk about TGIN without talking about your aunt and the founder, Chrisa Donaldson.
Yes.
She was your aunt, but also your best friend. She's a city girl just like you. So I know like some grit, some good energy is behind us. So like, if you could describe her essence, like what would that be like?
My aunt was a badass, okay? I'm just like, I can't describe her in one word, but I mean, just thinking about her, it definitely brings some emotions up, but just thinking about how much my aunt poured into me and to be sitting here having this conversation with you, I mean, just speaks volumes to her.
I love that. You call her, I listened before, the Black Elle Woods.
Yeah.
So I feel like Elle Woods describes a very specific personality, like very cute, very like put together, super fun, but also brilliant and no nonsense.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was my aunt. And even though she was my best friend, it took us a while to get to that. Christia was very business-like with me. Like she didn't play. In high school, oh honey, we weren't, talking about boys. She's like, no, what are you going to do with your life? What are you studying? What them grades looking like? She had just started the business. So she was like, girl, get in here. You're going to ship these t-shirts. So she did not become my best friend until after like I started really working in the business.
So after she saw like, okay, you can actually handle business, we can be friends.
Yes. Oh, she wasn't playing with me.
I love that.
Wasn't playing.
So why did she start TGIN?
Okay. This long and short. So TGIN was founded in 2009. Christia was working at one of the top law firms in Chicago. She was an M&A attorney, mergers and acquisitions.
Oh, big law.
Yes.
Big corporate law.
Big corporate law. So like doing M&A, but like overseas. So her clients were up at night. So that is when she had to work. So during the daytime, she would work on TGIN. But it started off with the book, Thank God I'm Natural. And it detailed her journey, like growing up in Detroit, going through high school, going to Harvard as a young Black woman, her journey through corporate America, and her experience with her hair. Unfortunately, my grandmother had permed her hair at a young age, and she just always had identity issues with her hair. So she tells the story where, hey, I want to go natural, but natural in corporate America and
Natural in 2009.
okay. was not the thing to do. And she started her law career in 2003.
Oh yes, even before that, everybody
Honey,
had a perm.
everyone. So she's like, she cut off all her hair and she's like, okay, I want to wear it natural. And then she started wearing a wig she's like, okay, I don't know about this hair thing. And she felt like ultimately it led to her, she wasn't let go from her job, but in the law world, they kind of be like, hey, you're not performing, so you need to find a new job. So she says, because of that and like having issues with like really finding herself was ultimately why she was like let go from her corporate job.
Wow. We can talk about this endlessly, but the way corporate America just does not have the capacity to support Black women, even
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And then like it really pushes women, Black women specifically, out of the workplace. When you are showing up to a place 40 hours a week, sometimes more, especially as a lawyer, 5 days a week, and not even being able to be yourself, it takes such a toll on your mental and your self-esteem. So it's just like, of course it's going to impact your performance. When TGIN started, there was no products. There was no products. What was she selling?
Girl, she was selling the book, and it was a New York bestseller.
Wow. So
she was cool with that, right? And then the book has some recipes in the back, something you can mix up in your kitchen, some oils, something, to deep condition. And then she had like t-shirts. So we would go to like trade shows and we'd be selling t-shirts and soaps and these books. So like that was my first job. Then the people were like, okay, these books, this is cute, but where are the products? So in 2013, she started with 5 products. And here we are, 2024. And girl got probably like 50 SKUs.
Oh my gosh.
For
How
collectors.
did she figure out what to sell?
Well, she started off, the journey was personal for her. She was like, okay, so I need me a good shampoo. I need a good conditioner. I need something for moisture because my hair is dry. So we had the daily moisturizer. And then she did a leave-in conditioner and then like a gel. Just
I love that. Like these are very like when you are starting a natural hair care journey, like as someone who was in the depths of the community on YouTube, everything she came out like that's literally the starter kit. She
that's
was
it.
Like, if you want to go on a journey like me, I'm going to give you exactly what you need. I love that.
Yeah.
You were with her since the inception. Let's idealize. What was the early days at TGIN? Like you said, you were in the room shipping the t-shirts, shipping the books, but as you all started to develop product and of course the company growing, like what was that like to see that hustle and bustle?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me tell you, she was living in Chicago. I was living in West Bloomfield, the suburbs. So what she had done, she had brought all the t-shirts.
She said, you're doing this.
No, for real. For real. So she had brought everything to West Bloomfield. So in my bedroom, I had a huge bedroom. So one side was like my workspace. So I had a computer where I could like print the orders. I had the t-shirts, the books, and the soaps. Again, this is before the products. And I would literally go to school, come home, print orders, and then walk across the street. I lived across the street from a post office.
Lucky you.
And the people at the post office knew me.
To see you coming.
No, but really they did. They knew me, but they hated to see me coming in. Here this girl come. And then, I'm like, I don't think I had the right amount of postage on there. So they hated me. But I would literally ship the stuff after school. On the weekends or like during the summer, my mom would send me to Chicago.
I love this.
Honey.
Like, kids don't get shipped off to their auntie house no more for the summers.
Honey.
Bring that back. My sister's watching this. Take my baby the whole summer.
No, literally. So I wasn't hanging with my friends. I was in Chicago or like wherever we were doing trade shows.
Oh my
working.
gosh.
Yeah. So eventually I went off to college. So I couldn't ship t-shirts from Michigan State, but I was doing social media. And at this point, the company had grown. So she started off with a small warehouse. We're like, okay, we growing. At first we were selling t-shirts out the back of her little Ford Escape. Now we got a little warehouse space. So I've literally done it all, June.
At one point, did she know, like, I'm going to stop law to do this full time, or it's just the way things happen?
So she went to another firm, and this firm allowed her to step back for a minute.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so she still worked, but it literally allowed her to focus on her passion of building this company. And she said, when I make my first million, I'm quitting. And in 2017, she made her first million.
Oh my gosh, this happened so fast. So do you remember the moment where you were like, oh yeah, this is not the same t-shirts and books we was dealing with. This is a large operation.
I think it was when I walked into Target and I was in the hair aisle and I saw my aunt's product on the shelf.
Did you know it was going to be there? Like, you probably were in the conversations about distribution and stuff like that, but it's very different seeing it on the shelf.
So at that time, I was living in Texas and I was in the background. I wasn't, let me see, what time was this? This is probably like 2015. So I'm living in Texas, so I'm not
hands-on
like I was. I probably took like a 2 or 3 year to figure out who Aris was. And I knew she was launching in Target, but it didn't really hit until I walked down that aisle and was like, that's my shit. Okay.
So you are a finance major. You were there since the early days. So I have to ask like the question, the capital for TGIN, like, was it all self-funded? Did she have investors? Like, what did growing this from t-shirts and books to a full scale of products, like, what did that look like? Like, what type of money did it take?
I'm very proud to say, like, my aunt bootstrapped this.
Wow.
We have never had outside capital. Never.
Bootstrapped yourself to Target?
Yes. Target, Walmart,
and I
Ulta.
also think about the years that this was like, people were not investing in Black beauty.
Girl, what? No. That just recently became a thing within the last, 7 years maybe? That wasn't the thing to do.
She was really a trailblazer. Like, I loved it.
Absolutely.
So we know Chrisa was amazed at this point. During this journey, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And from my research, if I'm not mistaken, she got it twice.
Actually, 3 times. 3 times. Yeah. So, and that last time is what did it. So in 2015, at the age of 36, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And the crazy thing is, breast cancer does not run in our family. And it was shocking because my grandmother, who is Christia's mother, she passed from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in 96. And again, cancer does not run in our family. So, you know, we were like on edge because, you know, we lost my grandmother. So she beat cancer the first time. And then in 2018, 2019, the cancer came back. Okay. Yep. And during that time, so she's diagnosed with breast cancer. She launches into Target. Literally, she goes to have her meeting with Target, like on how her performance 1 week after she finished chemo.
Oh my gosh.
So
a fighter.
I mean, a fighter. Like, she was, I mean, just like you said, a trailblazer. She was incredible. So 2018, I ended up moving I moved to Chicago, my mother and I, to come and support her and help her with the business. And then in 2020, it came back for the 3rd time.
So I have a question. So like, of course, she's running a business like at this time. Was her battle with cancer like hush hush? Well, at this point, multiple battles with cancer.
Yeah.
Was this something that was known by the company, or was it really like, okay, so everyone knew like she was...
So people knew, but they just know because the cancer had metastasized.
That's what I was gonna ask. The 3rd time, like that was probably...
So the first time she had it, it was in her breast. The 2nd time, it was like in her leg. Okay. And actually, my aunt was such a badass. It had spread to her brain. This woman had surgery on her brain. It was back online on the computer 3 days after.
No way. No
Yes.
way.
Yes, after.
I love like that. Just I understand like rest is like so valuable, but like when you are very, very passionate about what you do,
She
like
was.
going back to it is literally like so natural to you. And I feel like that just shows her dedication.
I think that's what kept her going and kept her
that.
alive.
How did she balance treatment and running a business? Like, if I have a cold, I'm not going to work.
Girl, so when I had moved to Chicago and we had to go to like chemo or radiation, the computer right in the chair. And I'm sitting with her, like at the appointment, and then at this time, we had COVID. So they're like, they didn't want to let me in. I'm like, no, I'm coming.
Oh my God.
I'm sitting in this chair while she's, getting treated, and we working. Cancer didn't stop no show.
Okay. Who got time for that? This is my baby.
To run.
You have a business to run.
And it was her baby. So, honey, cancer don't stop
it don't
nothing.
matter if you sick. Yes, I'm taking care of my baby. This is her baby. It's the same thing. After a long fight, Christia passed at age 42 to breast cancer. You actually announced her passing.
Yes.
To the TGIN community.
I think that was the hardest thing that I've ever had to do. So she passed on a Saturday night, and I had to go to the hospital with my mother and my grandfather and, handle business. And that next morning, Sunday, I had to call a meeting with my team, and the team knew like she had cancer, but they didn't know how bad it was.
That's what I was curious about. They didn't,
because it progressed so quickly. So I called a meeting, and I had to tell these people that their boss and that my aunt had passed. And I'm like, business as usual though. Like we're still running this business. So I had to, again, we're small. So not only did I have to like put on this front, but I had to make sure like I'm responsible for 40 people.
These are people's families. Like this is somebody's livelihood.
People have to eat. Baby, payroll had to be processed on Monday.
You get what I'm saying? This is a Saturday. Like I have to still work.
Yes.
So you are a young lady at this point. Your aunt, your best friend, and your boss just passed. And you had to handle the additional grief of the TGIN community finding out. From an emotional standpoint, like how did you handle this?
Ooh. And I just remember like sitting in that chair recording that video. Like I wrote out a script because I knew I wasn't going to be able to come from just like off the dome.
Heart, yeah.
So I had written a script, and we set up the camera. I think it was like my iPhone on a tripod because I'm like, people talk.
I can't just write. Like I gotta say, I have to make.
And
I
have to let people know, and the just outpour of like love and support. So many people. Emails, text messages, call. It was overwhelming, but the community, her friends, they stepped up and they showed up.
And also, I even think about like, this is kind of like early, and I would say like this is early, right? Where I feel like building community online is like a bigger conversation now, but she had that before she even launched the company. So I'm just like, these are people who feel very, very close to her and very, very personal to her, providing this support on social media. So I'm like, I can imagine how that felt like even in the process of you grieving, it felt good that so many people care.
I mean, even like some of our competitors reached out, showed up like, hey, like, is there anything we can help you with? And it was just like, at a time when I was probably like one of the lowest times in my life, felt so good to have people in my corner.
So like you said, business as usual. How did you end up as CEO? Who had the bright idea that said, hey, she has this 20-something-year-old niece that I think would be great at running a company? Like, how did that happen?
So it was really just, a simple conversation between me, my mother, and my grandfather. And
the company is family owned.
Yes. Oh, it was owned by Chrisa. Okay. Now it's family owned. And we had to keep the company going. So they're looking at me like, okay, you've been doing this, since its inception. So you're the perfect person for it. And I've worked in every department. I've done every role, operations, marketing. So as I look back, I'm like, my aunt was very intentional about what she did. My background is in finance, and I just wanted to focus on
You
finance.
said I wanted to come here and run the books.
That's it. That's it. And she's like, no, I need you in ops. I need you in marketing. Come to this sales meeting. I'm like, why am I talking to these these buyers? I need to be in the background. I just want to count the money. And like I said, she was very intentional about it. So when she passed, I knew the entire organization like the back of my hand. So I was the person.
I have a question. Like,
Mhm.
do you think her preparing you was related to just her wanting you to be in that spot eventually, or her knowing she was sick?
I think it was about legacy. So unfortunately, Christia was not going to be able to have children. Well, she had oocytes and, had her eggs frozen, but she really wanted to leave a legacy. And that is what she did. So I think her being, sick played a role, but I think all in all, it was about leaving a legacy.
She's like, this is going to be in my family regardless. In full transparency, were you ready?
Girl, what? So, look, I feel like I'm on The Office where you like, is there a hidden camera in here? Like, I'm staring dead at the camera. What? I wake up some morning and I'm just like, who made me? No, seriously, who died and made me CEO? Because I'm just a baby.
Just a girl.
Okay, that's how I feel. I'm like,
girl bossed a little too close to the sun.
Okay, I bossed up a little too. Look,
I bossed up a little too much.
a little too much. Okay. No, I'm like, but all for real, Jen, I'm still learning. And I think why I've been so successful is because I listen. I don't think I know everything. Just because I've been doing this literally since 2009, I don't know everything. My mom came in. Mom has worked as a corporate, in corporate. So she brought something that I didn't have. I didn't have corporate experience.
This was your
This is my job. And I worked at like Foot Locker.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, girl, yeah. So I needed help. So, and even to this day, like I'm still very open. I have mentors to help me. I don't know everything.
I love that. I know you've been with the company since the inception and you worked every job, but inheriting a business, like what do you feel like is the most difficult part or what people see and don't understand?
That is such a good question. First of all, owning a business is ghetto. Okay. Very, very grateful.
As a business owner, I can say absolutely.
It's ghetto.
It's like, what do you mean I made $5,000 one day and don't nobody call me the next? Like, this is crazy to me.
No, but really, and people just assume, they're like, oh, this company is making all of this money. And like, first of all, you have to understand, like, yeah, the company is making money. Me and the company are two separate entities. Okay? I'm like, baby, there are certain like checks and balances you have to have, or baby, I'll be in an orange jumpsuit. So people automatically say, oh, you have all of this money. The company has money.
And the company needs money to run.
Okay.
It has that.
I got 40 people that need to be fit. Okay? Honey, let's get into it, Jen. Come on.
Like I said, I'm very much in my personal development bag. Talking to you feels so good because, like, yes, you are a CEO, but you are a girl just like me. Like, we are peers. We are literally 1 year apart. We was at Michigan State at the same time. Okay, let's make it super clear.
And I'm a girl's girl. Okay.
What does your day as a CEO looks like? Like, let's start from like morning routine to making it to work to leaving the office.
Okay, so I just want to tell y'all, for me personally, there's no such thing as balance.
Okay.
Like some days I'm a really great CEO. Some days I'm a really great daughter. Some days, I don't have a healthy balance. But I do make sure, like, when I get up in the morning, so I'm part of the 5 a.m. club now. Okay. So, girl,
I love to see it.
It be hard. Okay. But I wake up. I make my bed, then I do my devotional, have my little quiet time. I'll exercise. If I don't get to the gym, then I have a walking pad.
Okay.
Or I'll do like a home workout. And I have that time to myself before I get online and start assaulting people via email.
Okay.
Because I'm going to tear you up. Okay. Like, where is this deliverable? And I just really learned that within the last like 6 months.
I love like when people talk about a morning routine, I think people just think they wake up and do it. Or when they talk about building routines for their life, people wake up and just do it. But it is literally trial and error. You saying, like, I just started doing this. You've been in this position for a few years at this point. It's like, I'm just now being able to establish something for myself. I feel like that's meaningful because people hear CEO and hear titles and think people automatically have it together.
No, Jen, I was so bad. Like, I would go to sleep. I have a king size bed. Okay. I go to sleep with the laptop, wake up with the laptop, and it's like all TGIN. And it's like, I am more than TGIN. Like, so I'm in this stage of my life of like figuring out who I am outside of TGIN because I love what I do. I'm passionate about, you know, the organization and, you know, selling shampoo is great, but I want to be an example for Black business women. And I'm like, okay, this is not healthy. This is not healthy. So that is why I was intentional about finding my own routine. And hell, I just got to wake up at 5 a.m. to do it.
And that's literally, I said, I think I tweeted this before. I'm like, dang, the key to getting more stuff done is really just getting up earlier. I'm so mad that it actually worked. I hate that it worked.
And I'm much more productive. Much more productive.
I hate that it worked. So, you know, this is Action. We love to play games. Everybody plays a game. And I said, like, you my girl. We're going to play my favorite game, personality playlist. Okay? The way this game goes is I am going to list a scenario or a statement, and you are going to tell me a song that goes along with it, okay?
I'm so excited. Okay.
All right. What is a song you would play on a big launch or shipment day?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I launched my first collection as CEO back in May.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So 5 SKUs, brand new collection, all my ideal. And the song that I played at our launch party was Sexy Walk.
Okay, period. This is a Sexy Red fan account.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I played Sexy Walk by Sexy Red. I sure did.
What do you play before a big meeting?
Probably Drake is my go-to, but you know, Drake been taking an L this year.
Okay, but we cannot take away what he has done for us.
Okay, yes, but if I need something like hype, I will probably listen to like Future.
Oh yeah, you can't go wrong.
Future.
I love Future. I feel like that's my own personal flaw. I love Future. Future can do no wrong to me, honey.
Lately, I've been playing.
Mixtape Pluto, babe, can't turn it off.
What's the new one? Plutoski?
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell he's saying on that song, but I'm like, yes,
Future. So we playing Future before the big meeting, period. When you need to unwind after a long day of work, now that you have this balance and you're not taking the work to bed with you, when you like, okay, I'm separating CEO and Aris, what type of songs or what song are you playing?
Actually, it will either be like lo-fi beats.
Okay, I love lo-fi.
It's so nice. Or if I want words, I'll play Gyra by Maverick City. It's my like favorite gospel song.
Really?
Yes.
I love that. You know, I'm a gospel girl. I think I'm a Cher Clark
okay.
sister. You know
Come on,
how I get
Kiki.
down. Come on, Kiki. I just heard her on Glorilla album. I said, this is what I needed. Bring back the rap albums with the random gospel songs.
Ratchet and Righteousness, honey.
And sister. When you just want to be Aris and not the CEO of TGIN, what type of music are you playing?
So I've always been like, love trap music.
Ooh.
Love trap music. Okay. I love a good hood jam. But actually, like, I grew up on like Wu-Tang, MF Doom.
Okay, period.
Like
you what's the girl? Boom Cat rap type of girl.
Yeah. So like I'm probably playing like Cream by Wu-Tang. Please don't play it. Like I will sing it word for word.
I love this. And lastly, a song that reminds you of your aunt Christia Donaldson.
Oh my God. She loved Dress You Up by Madonna. Gonna dress you up in my
I talk
love.
about this all the time. Like when we talk about like Michigan, Detroit legends, Madonna don't get named enough. Like Madonna is that girl. And
You
she
need
is
to
from
put some
Michigan. She's
respect
from
on
the
her name.
crib.
Yes.
Baby, the world don't love her for no reason.
She loved that song.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Taste. All right. So, is there any advice you can give to someone who is grieving but still trying to make their dreams come true?
Whew. Grief is not linear.
Hey.
Okay. Some days it's been almost 3 years since Christia passed, and some days are harder than others. And I just feel like I didn't get a chance to just like take a break because I had to continue pushing the business. And then I have to go to work every day and see her face on the
Be
wall.
just completely reminded of her. Like,
Yeah.
this is her.
There's nothing where, where like people grieve. It's like, okay, they may have a picture in their wallet or, I don't have, like, she is in my face
Every single
every
step
day.
you take
Yeah.
is in tribute to her. You don't get to separate it at no point.
No, there's nothing. There was no time for me to just like separate. So my grief looked different.
Oh, for sure.
But I still had to push forward, and maybe some people know, maybe some don't. 6 months after I lost Christia, not even 6 months, I lost my baby brother.
Oh my gosh.
To fentanyl overdose. And that just sent me over the edge. So just imagine I had a multi-million-dollar company literally dropped in my lap, and I still had to keep going. So I'm like, I'm like, okay, I don't have Christia, got to keep this company going. And then I lose my brother. I tell you, that was the ghettoest time. Like, that's literally.
I could not imagine. And it's just like, the stakes are so high.
I did not have time. I said, we got to keep this going. Again,
these companies, y'all on these shows, they don't care.
No.
That somebody passed away, they don't care about you grieving.
Target is like, I'm sorry, love you, but like, line review is coming up. What new innovation do you have?
Wow.
You
gonna be off these shelves, or you gonna
okay.
Let's talk about her baby and now your baby. TGIN.
Yes.
Baby, we got products. We is at Target. We is at Ulta. We is at Sally Beauty. So of course we're gonna talk about them. So you mentioned after Christia's passing, people was like, it's time to buy. You said that the company grew 3 times after her passing. How did that impact operations, like, as a whole?
First of all, I'm gonna just be honest, we were not prepared.
Oh, of course not.
I mean,
like, duh.
No, we were not prepared. So again, we have this small, like medium-sized warehouse. I'm like, but the orders are coming through now.
This is USC, just your first few days as CEO. The company has grown.
First of all, I'm still in Delulu land because
I'm grieving.
I'm grieving, and my mindset is still employee and not owner.
I have to do all of this stuff.
Yes. I'm like, I have to make the decisions. Like, I have to prioritize. I'm like, okay, this inventory, I have to talk to my manufacturer. I'm like, okay, I know, you need like 30 days, 60 days in advance. I need now. The people want stuff now. So e-commerce had just like exploded. I'm just like, what am I supposed to do?
Oh my God.
So it was a lot of like strategic thinking that I just had to sit down and I'm like, okay, what's the priority?
And now that this is in hindsight, I can ask, like, what do you think people misunderstand or need to know about growing a business to scale? Like, what should they be prepared for?
So one thing that I learned is you have to hire for where you want to go, not where
you're at.
So
you brilliant.
I'm like, okay, right now I need a salesperson for just domestic, right? But no, I had to be forward thinking because I knew I wanted to take the brand international. It was one of Christia's dreams. And I said, okay, I'm going to realize that.
You made it happen.
I made it happen. But I had to put the salesperson in place for where I wanted to go. And international did not happen until 2.5 years after Christia died.
Wow.
So
you was working on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So it's been over 10 years since the company launched this product line.
Mm-hmm.
What is the biggest difference between the products in the early stages and now?
I'll get to that, but I just want you guys to like think back 10 years ago where we had a few textured hair.
And I'm even thinking about what e-commerce looked like 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Raggedy.
I'm like, rinky dink. Okay. So you only had like maybe 10 textured hair care companies. So I don't want to say it was easy because textured was still new. But now looking at it today, when I look at the data, there's like 50 plus textured hair care companies
that are big. You get what I'm saying? We're not even talking about including the mom and pops.
Right. So I'm like, I have like 49 other people that I'm competing with. Yeah. But for the products, let's just keep it real. Let's keep it transparent. Things that were okay to put in products back then are like no-nos now. Yeah. So, and I have to applaud the girls, the consumers, because they're very intelligent. So like, don't try to play in their face. Like, thank y'all. Love y'all. Thanks for keeping us honest. But you have to, I'm like constantly innovating. The ingredients are like, okay, this used to be good. This is not good now. So it's just constant innovation.
I love that. Okay. So I know you mentioned how many products does TGIN have right now?
Oh my gosh. First, I'm going through a SKU analysis.
Wow.
Because I'm very intentional and I'm like, this does the same thing as this.
We can have less.
Discontinue. Less is more. Okay. So right now, I think we're at about like 45.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is. It is. So I'm cleaning it up. I want to have, like maybe 35. So somebody got to go.
10 of y'all got to make the cut. What's the best seller?
The buttercream.
The buttercream has been the best seller for year after year.
Years.
What do you think is so special about it?
First of all, I mean, again, that was probably one of Chrisia's first products. Wow. And again, she struggled so much with moisture. Like when I tell you her hair, bless her heart, it was dry. It was dry. So she formulated it for the 4C girlies. It does work with other hair textures, but it was formulated for that consumer in mind. And I mean, it was just years of innovation. And even now, we look at it, we're like, okay, how can it be better?
Like, that's what when you're talking about like innovation and reformulation, like I love that. We're going to get into that a little now. Like, we even know after all of this time, the natural hair community and the imagery surrounding it is very texturous.
Yeah.
People think it does not work for them. So to the women with the kinkiest curls who feel like products like yours are not for them, like, what do you want them to know?
It is absolutely for you.
Christia had 4C hair.
Yes.
This product was made with you in mind.
I just want to let y'all know, like, my grandmother permed Christia's hair at a very young age.
She said, I'm not dealing with this.
Exactly. So like, this is for the 4C girlies, that 4 category. But we do have different products that, are for the 3s. And you can even use some of the products on straight hair.
See?
If that's but for me and for Chrisia, it was for the texture girls because we never had anything.
We didn't have anything. I love that. Okay. So let's talk about a little controversy. As Jen, we get a little messy. I've seen on social media, TikTok specifically, Black women divesting from natural hair care. They say that there are cheaper and white-owned companies that just work better for their hair, and some are even going back to relaxers. As an owner of a natural hair care company, how do you feel about that?
I think one thing I have realized, like, all hair is not the same, So it is hard for me or I'm just getting to this space where I'm like, okay, I can't serve everybody.
And no company can.
No, I can't serve everybody. But for me, it is important to service, our the Black consumer, the Black woman, because for so long we didn't have anything. So when I do see them going back to, like a Dove or like Suave, something on the shelf, I'm like, girl, that is not made for you and me. Yeah, no.
Nobody who created this formula thought about you and your hair at all. Are you okay with that?
And 9 times out of 10, when this product was created, there was no one at the table that looked like me and you. When I create my products, everybody Black.
So you get what I'm saying?
Okay,
we going for everybody Black over here.
Even my chemist.
You get what I'm?
My chemist Black.
I think about stuff like that all the time, and also like most of consumerism is psychology. If you feel and believe your hair is difficult and hard to manage, and you do believe these cheaper and white products are, but you gonna believe it.
Yeah,
you're gonna believe it. If you don't want to take the time to learn your natural hair or deal with your natural hair, even if you feel like it's difficult, nothing good in life is easy.
No.
Like, of course, like you're gonna lean over to the other part. Also, I think about the fact that, especially with Black hair and the way like moisture intact, most of these products consume or include a lot of silicone, which people think the slip is better. But once that product like start to die down, you're gonna have a lot of buildup on your hair, and your hair is going to be very, very dry. I feel like people don't think about formulations enough. Like, your hair might look or feel better, but the formula overall over time is really not good for you. Like you said, your chemist is Black. Everybody thought about you in the process of making this product.
Yes.
So I see products with ingredients like honey, green tea, rose water in your products. How important is ingredient formulation when it comes to catering to all hair textures?
Okay, well, let me tell you how we formulate.
I love this. Let's talk about the science. You also, I just want to mention, you are so knowledgeable about every single facet of the company.
To be, honey, I don't play. Like, you're not gonna be. No, honey, I know this my baby. I know her. So how Chrisa came up with the other collections, she took something that she just genuinely liked. She's like, okay. Remember, she was mixing up those little recipes. So she's like, okay, I like honey, and this does well on my hair. So she takes that. And like, that's the base. And then she would go to the chemist and she's like, okay, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that. And then that's how we come up with the formulation. How I've done it, I look at what the consumers are asking for. Ooh. So I don't want to just create products just because, I want to make money. Like, again, I'm very intentional. So I have this data. I pay all this money for this data, y'all.
Let me tell you something. Data driven will never steer you wrong.
Oh my gosh.
You are not looking at why people are doing things and who is doing it and when, you are running a losing race.
Absolutely.
With that finance background kicking in, honey.
So the consumers are telling me what they want. So, okay, this, we'll do a study group and the consumer will say like, okay, rice water, or now we're getting into the Ayurvedic practices, so like neem oil and different things of that nature. And that is how I came up with the new collection, by listening to my consumers. Yeah,
listen to me. If I'm spending money with you, I need my opinion to matter,
and it does.
I love that. So to date, and you said you launched your own collection, so let's just talk about your collection specifically. From ideation to shelves, how long did it take?
2 years.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay. This is the thing. When people talk about developing product, like especially at the scale in which you need to do it, like, this is going to be at the shelves of major retailers. Yeah. This is going to take a while. It has to follow all of these guidelines and rules.
Yes.
People not thinking 2 years. I can tell you that right now.
No. I mean, the packet, first of all, we started off with the formulation. So one, I wanted to make sure, okay, we've got the ingredients that the consumers are asking for. Come up with it. It's a lot of testing, Jen.
I can imagine.
Not
this
just
is hair.
Yes.
This is hair.
Okay. And the thing is, like, the chemist can mix you up something and it's good, it passes stability, it passes compatibility, but I'm like, when I try it on my hair, it don't do nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not giving me the results that I want. So I have to go.
Or the things that we are saying this product line is going to do. Yeah.
So I have to go back to the chemist, and it's like, it's me constantly. So like for a good 6 to 9 months, again, this was my first time doing it by myself. So I'm like washing my hair every other day. I'm, okay, I'm styling it because this was a styling collection.
Yeah.
So that's first order of business. Then packaging. You see, our packaging is, kind of sleek, but I wanted something that really stood out on the shelf. So you'll notice this new collection looks completely different than the other 3 collections. So, I mean, just sourcing the bottles, sourcing the caps is gold. Honey, those gold caps are not, when I tell you.
Like, no.
And then like, okay, they're like, they have to be shipped. And they're like, in order for you to get them in time, girl, I had to airship.
What was that like?
Disgusting. Okay, I got the bill. I said, girl,
I'm not doing this again.
I said, oh, y'all better sell shampoo on OnlyFans or something.
Oh my God.
We got to pay this air freight bill. Yeah. Yeah.
So I know this collection was inspired by your If you could tell the backstory, I would love that.
Yeah, so it pays homage to Chrisa, again, diagnosed with breast cancer. And after her first round of breast cancer, she went to Bali and she's like, I just need a break. And she literally was like, what the just happened to me? I'm 30 something. I have breast cancer. I've got this business. So she just went to Bali to just take a breather. And she did not want to come back.
Oh, I wouldn't either. Bali is beautiful.
She's like, I absolutely love it here. And she's like, I feel so at peace. And she said she met with a lady out there. And the lady was like, Chrisa, you have a whole life back in Chicago. She's like, you have this amazing company. You have to find the Bali within. So my aunt's like, what the hell does that mean? What does that mean?
I'm here right now.
And she writes about it in her second book, This Is Only a Test, where she, documents her journey with cancer, running a business, all of that. And she said, I had to learn to find the Bali within. So this collection is literally paying homage to her. And it's literally like your escape to Bali, your Bali within.
I love that because I think about how long it takes for me to wash my hair. I'm like, baby, I need some type of escape because this is about
yes. And it's supposed to be an experience for you. So like even the ingredients, the scents are, like I said, the Ayurvedic practice, like that is a practice native to Bali.
I love that.
And I bottled it up, man.
This is so intentional.
Yeah.
I know you probably saw the drama on social media around another hair care company that consumers believe it went under a reformulation change when the company decided to scale. Did that scare you or change how TGIN does business?
For us, no. We know, it was business as usual. We are open with our consumers. If there's going to be a change in formulation, like you'll see a sticker on the package.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, absolutely. Because I want you to know.
I want you to know. As we are filming, it is October. We know it's getting colder. Wet bun and protective style season is over. The fall, winter, the girls are getting the sew-ins.
Bust down.
The silk presses. And we need some natural hair care tips. And I think as the CEO of Thank God It's Natural, you're the only right person to give it to us. Okay? So TGIN has some amazing products. I am going to mention a common hair care problem amongst Black women. And you are going to recommend some TGIN products.
Okay.
So we know it's fall, and sometimes those heavier knits and fabrics can cause breakage. What does TGIN have to prevent breakage and retain length?
Oh, it's right in the name. It's my anti-breakage serum.
Okay.
You can use it as a daily serum. First of all, make sure your hair is moisturized.
There we go.
You have to keep your hair moisturized, especially, oh my gosh, I hate wearing a hat in the winter time, and it's like I take my hat off and I see all these hairs in here.
Problem for us, or you take off your wool coat and you see like it in your
I'm losing a little too much for my liking. So making sure you're upping the moisture. So, take the daily moisturizer, cocktail it with the anti-breakage serum. Just give your hair a good little, and that'll do the trick. And put your hat on, okay?
And put your hat on, okay. All right, so the air is getting colder and it can dry hair out. What are some products that keeps hair moisturized and juicy?
Ooh, let me see.
It's so many, I can't lie.
I know. Okay, so I'm always gonna hype up the buttercream, the daily moisturizer. It's our best seller. And I'm like, and she's really that girl. I love a good leave-in conditioner. Love a good leave-in. So my favorite would be the MRX line.
Okay.
Some people, like, I know you often see like our moist collection or the rosewater or the new collection, but really my favorite collection is the MRX. It's the black and white line. And that is for, repairing the hair, restoring the hair, especially in these brutal winter months. The whole collection fire.
Okay. Last but not least, we are talking about, again, silk press season and sew in with leave out season. We got to keep that natural hair laid, but at the same time, we're not trying to heat damage it.
Right.
Does TGIN have any products for that?
So I would like to, a new girl has entered the chat. Okay. There is a
bombshell has entered the villa.
Let me look at so I have a 3-in-1 heat protectant, right? Okay. Not only the formula's bomb, right? But I just had it tested. 450 degrees, Jen. You can go up to 450 degrees on your flat irons. Now, don't take it up that high. Because us, we just like to turn the flat irons up all the way up. Yeah. Like, you don't need that.
One thing, like my hairdresser, when she do my hair, it's just like, so many of us just go straight for that 450 degrees. We don't need it.
No. But my 3-in-1, if you decide to go that high, the 3-in-1, you spray it on your hair. It did pass that testing for heat.
That is good to know.
Okay, so she's that girl. Use her.
Okay. We got all of the hair care tips. I love how, like you mentioned, everything that TGIN has is tested on you. You are the CEO.
Absolutely.
You are the center of this company. So I just want to talk about, like, you are a young lady, okay? You is fine. You is young. You is having a good time, okay? How do you still find time for fun and friends while being a CEO? Like, do you feel like you have a healthy work-life balance? I know we talked about that a little earlier and you've gotten better, but it's just like, how do you, I guess, like, prioritize?
Yeah. Okay. So again, I'm big on intentionality. So I had to start scheduling.
Hey,
baby, if you're not on my calendar, my friends know, if you don't receive a calendar invite,
it's not happening.
It's not happening.
Fake. The meetup is not.
It's real. Not, the link ain't, it's not, we not linking. So I make sure, maybe once or twice a month, I'm hanging out with my girls. Once a month, I'm on a plane.
I'm going somewhere.
I'm going somewhere. I'm leaving here with something. Okay. So I take a little weekend trip and I'm either in Mexico, and sometimes it's a workcation. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, business, it's got to get done. But honey, I'll be right there on the beach.
At least I'm on the beach it's better than being in the office. Okay. Hey.
Again, assaulting people via email.
So let's talk about being a CEO. You are young. Are you single or dating?
I am single. Okay.
You are single. So when you go on a date and they say, "Hey, what are you doing?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm a CEO of a natural hair care company." Do that scare people off?
And here's the thing, Jen. I don't tell them.
Really?
And
when people say, "What do you do?" What do you say?
I'm in finance. Right? Okay. I don't want to steer people wrong, but sometimes you have to use your spirit of discernment.
Oh yeah.
So if I'm meeting someone and they're like, "Okay, yeah, what do you, I'm in finance, I'm in business," or sometimes I say I'm in business.
Okay.
But I don't outright tell them I'm a CEO.
A Google search will just do it.
Yes. It would. And I'm like, if you Google my name, it will tell you. It will tell you. So
I'm testing to see if you did your research.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So I'm sometimes I found when I say like, oh, I'm a CEO, some people just like, they get turned off or they're like intimidated, and that's okay.
Mhm.
You're not for me. And then some people were like, their intentions aren't that great. So that's what I've come across. So right now, within the last, I would say like 6 months, I've been intentional about dating. Okay. And I'm out here. I'm having fun.
I need the girls to have fun. I know so many women who are not having a good time dating.
Yeah.
You have to reclaim your time. You need to be having fun.
But I spent my 20s like back and forth with this guy for 10 years.
No way. You too young for 10 years.
Very, very ghetto. Very ghetto. And I was like, hold up.
No.
I'm the prize.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm the prize. So now I'm out here. Okay.
Ooh, my girl is having a boy. I love to hear it. So, like, when you talked about like the spirit of discernment, let's get into that a little bit. I know sometimes when you are growing a successful business, people want to attach themselves to you for visibility or like perceived benefits. Have you experienced that, and how have you worked through it?
Not only with just men, but like with
friendships and women too. Yeah.
I'm like, girl, you never, like, we cool, but
you
I'm
never
like,
fuck with me like this. What's going on?
Thank you. And it's like, oh, let's hang out. Let's go. And I'm not saying, you know, everyone has ill intentions, but
why are you here?
Yes. And I'm naturally like a friendly person. I'm like, I mean, that's why I just gel so well with you. But you can, as I've gotten older, I'm like, okay, I can tell like who's a good person, has a good spirit. And it's like, some people are just like, I know what you're here for. You're not really my friend.
And I'm not giving it to you. Like, and I say this all the time, like, and I feel like we talked about this a little bit off camera. I don't mind being a resource. If you want something, tell me what it is so I can give it to you. You don't gotta fake a friendship. You don't gotta act like we close. Like, tell me what you need, and if I got it to give, I can try to give it to you. But we don't gotta play the game.
Because I don't gatekeep. Like, honey, everybody eat, okay? Everybody eats, B, okay?
Okay.
I'm very much a girl's girl, but like, please don't be fake with me because I can spot the bullshit.
Let's talk about it. A woman in business.
Okay.
I can spot some BS.
Okay.
People who want to or are coming into success at a young age, what is some advice you can give to them?
Be smart with your money.
Be smart.
Okay.
That's another thing. I keep reiterating it, but you being a finance major literally made you made for this. Like, it's your mindset is just so different.
And don't get me wrong, like, I do like the nice things.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that.
I'm a splurge on a vacay, you know. I like a good red bottom, you know. I like jewelry, but I also, it's gotta make sense. So for me, I've been CEO for 3 years. I am still riding around in my same 2017 BMW.
As you should be.
Paid off.
All right. So again, CEO, what are your self-care non-negotiables aside from keeping that blue color fresh?
Ooh, self-care non-negotiables. Okay. So again, I do have to start my day with Jesus. If I don't, I may not be the nicest person.
There we go.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
Okay. So
you know we film on Sunday.
A little prayer and meditation, heavy on that. I think that's what also keeps me grounded. But self-care to me, I just recently got back into reading, and I used to like do an Audible book, but it's just something with like sitting down.
Turning a page.
Oh my gosh. Bending the page back, like that fills me. I love a good spa day. And some people, you know, think like, oh, self-care, you have to be doing something. Sometimes it's me just sitting in my chair. I have a chair in my room that looks out on the balcony. And the other day, I watched the sunset.
Ooh.
I sat there for 45 minutes, no phone, and watched the sunset. And it was the most peace that I had that week.
I am very much a look at the moon girl. Like, I track like the moon phases. I'm like, oh, the moon is going to be beautiful tonight. I have to clear my evening to make sure I can stare at the moon.
Okay.
So when you talked about like a sunset, I'm like, yes, that is my self-care bag.
That brings me peace. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so speaking of hair, let's just talk about me being a fan. Your personal style to die for.
Thank you.
watched you on the Sherry Shepherd show with the braids in your hair and the suit that you wore.
Yes.
I said, this girl is just so cute and so stylish. So
Thank
like, I
you.
really have to like dig into it. I even looked at, like I told you, I looked at some pictures from your high school. You had blonde hair and a short haircut in
Girl,
high school. You have
yes.
always been stylish. So I have to ask, who or what helped you develop your personal style? Because you look good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think I have to give a shout out to my mom. So in college, she went to University of Michigan, and her mom was like, you have to pay 10% of your tuition.
Oh, she did. She didn't play.
She was not playing. So my mom's like, I'm not going out here getting on the bus. It's cold. So my mom went to nail school while she was in college. Like, she took the summer and went to hair and nail school. So when she came back the following year, she was doing hair and nails in her dorm.
Oh, I love Detroit women. Oh my God.
Right? So I'm like, my mom always, I just remember like as a kid, like she kept my hair done, but I'm like, I would go to the salon when it was time for me to wear nails. Like, she would do my nails. Like, mom did not play. And she was very like, you know, you don't walk out this house just any old way. She's like, you show up, you know, show up as your best self. Even if you just run in here, like, so I have to give a shout out to my mom.
Where do you find fashion and beauty inspiration?
That is a good, I think scrolling through Instagram is one, but okay, I'm late to the game. Don't judge me. Pinterest is so, I'm like, how do you feel about Pinterest?
If you want the inspo of social media without all of the mess and drama, you belong on Pinterest.
Yes.
It's like, I just want to look at nice things. Pinterest is for you.
Oh my gosh, my entire bedroom was decorated like from Pinterest inspiration. So I love it, but I'm like, I just got on Pinterest probably like 2 years ago.
Oh, no problem. Every time is the right time for Pinterest. Oh my God. Shout out to them.
You'll be on there scrolling.
You always look like $1 million, of course. So you know that brings me to my next topic, money. I keep mentioning you are a finance major. You are running a multi-million-dollar business. Baby, we is talking about the money. How would you describe your relationship with money? Again, you a finance major, so I know you got it honest, but it was something you were raised with or something that you kind of developed on your own. Okay, so we gonna keep it real, right? Really real, please.
Really real. So growing up, I'd say my mom, she's very responsible, had a good relationship with money. Anything that was a want, I had to work for.
I love that.
So when all my friends were like getting like the little iPod, the little one that you used to clip, yeah. No, I had to work for that. Getting a new computer, these things had to be worked for. They just weren't, oh, mom, you know, I want it. So I always believed that, you know, you had to work hard for things. But then as I got older, you know, just like our generation, I want it now. I want it fast. So Michigan State, I got my first
MSU, FCU, you gonna pay for your crimes, honey.
Okay, curse you. Curse you. When I tell you they gave me like $1,000, right? Blew it out, Jen.
At the weak ass Meridian Mall, bro. You weren't even blowing out that credit card at somewhere sweet or crazy. You was catching a one bus, girl, down the street and blowing it there.
It was terrible. And then I think I had gotten a tattoo. I had put the tattoo on the credit card, just like irresponsible. And for years, from about 2011 to 2019, I have a degree in finance. I just did not have the healthiest relationship with money. So it's like, I overdrawing your account. Okay, I get paid, you know, credit card debt out the ass. And I finally sat down, I think it was like 2019. And I was like, okay, this is unhealthy. This is before I became CEO. And I, again, very intentional. Jen, I probably had like over $100,000 in just like debt.
Wow.
And was aggressive and paid it off. Like,
oh my, how did you pay it off? Like, what
before
method
being
did you use?
CEO, I had this like little Excel sheet, and it's like debt roll, the snowball.
Oh, the snowball. Like pay it off to like the smallest first and then keep building up. Yeah.
And then not using them, cutting up the credit cards. And then so I did that, paid off all my credit card
How long
debt.
did it take you?
Probably a year and a half, almost 2 years. And then my mom, I went back home. I moved home. I was like, I done lived on my own. And now I got to go back home. So I made the sacrifice. I paid all of the credit card debt off. Like I'm still finishing up my student loans. Joe,
hey,
hit the damn button, Joe.
Let me tell you something. I'm
hit the
committed
button
to not paying it. So like somebody got to deal with it, and it's not gonna be me.
It's not gonna be me. Nailnet hits me up like, "Hey, your payment's late."
And I'm like, "Girl, so you see what the fuck going on?"
No, but really. So after I paid off my debt, my mom's like, "Okay, you also have 3 months to leave."
This lady didn't play with you. This is
She
so funny. I'm sorry. Like,
and
I'm so glad you did that, but you got
yes. And the thing is, like, my mom and I mean, she's my best friend, and we were just living together in harmony. And she's like, "It's time for you to go and buy a house." So I had saved up, and I bought my first house.
Oh my gosh! Congratulations.
In 2021, yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, Mama, like, shout out to you.
Shout out to her.
I know you're gonna be watching this. Yes.
So, as a CEO, I know that come with a check. What was your first like crazy purchase?
Oh, what did I do? Okay, I'm not gonna lie. What was my first? Oh, I bought a new house.
Oh, period. You're so responsible, baby.
Yeah.
I'm buying a house.
I did buy a new house, but last year?
I'm like, something splurgy. Okay, so let's not talk about the first. Like, what's something that you was like, fuck it, we bought and bought?
Ooh, I think I went to Cartier.
Okay.
And I bought, I want the bracelet with the ring.
Ooh.
But honestly, I don't wear my money. I'm gonna take a trip.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a trip. So last year I went to Mexico. And I'm like not really a big fan of going to Mexico, but girl, I stayed on this compound.
There we go. You said I spent the money to go to Mexico the right way, and it felt very different.
Honey, it didn't even feel like I was in Mexico. So yeah, I'm gonna splurge on a vacation.
I love that. Do you invest?
Absolutely.
What type of investment accounts do you have?
So, Charles Schwab.
Okay.
Of course, the company has a 401k with a match, and I take advantage of that. So,
benefits.
Yeah, I take that to the max. But even before I became CEO, I would always like invest in stocks.
Okay.
And one of my goals was to invest in Amazon.
Nice.
This was a couple years ago.
Oh, then you got good before the stock split. You went crazy.
I was like, I just need I think it was $2,200. I was like, okay, I gotta save this $2,200 out. And I'm like, I just need one stock. And I bought it before the split.
Oh my God.
So I've always invested. But yeah, I'm ready to buy some land now.
Where would you buy it?
Honestly, Michigan.
Oh, I love that. It's so much green space here. There are so many, it's so many places that are just ready to purchase.
Michigan is just beautiful.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so you inherited TGIN as a multi-million-dollar company. It was already making money when you got it.
Right.
If you don't mind me getting your business, what's the annual operating budget?
Operating.
And you don't have to give me a specific number. Say north of, south of, almost, about. Like, you can do that. Okay,
I'll give you the annual revenue. It's north of 20.
Wow. This 30-year-old is operating on $20 million a year. That is fantastic. From a company your aunt started out of the back of her Ford Escape. That's so powerful. And it's only growing and it's only doing better. And you guys are only improving. I cannot wait until you tell me that y'all are making $100 million. Like, I'm ready for it.
Yes.
So let's talk about it. I feel like, especially when businesses are so personal, this is a legacy, this is a family business. Like, people want to keep their hands on it like so hard. When do you recognize, or when should business owners recognize when the contract or hire out?
That is an excellent question. Because I'm still in that space where I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. And it's like, no,
No,
I,
literally
no.
no.
But again, I saw my aunt do it all. And I'm like, oh, I can do this. And it's like, I had to have a come to Jesus meeting with myself. And I'm just like, Aris, when Chrisa had the organization, wasn't the same size.
It's not like whatsoever. If I'm not mistaken, you guys went from like 250 to like 12,000 in like 5 years. Yeah, it's not the same business.
It's not. So I'm like, okay. Again, like I told you, I don't know everything. So I have to go and get the experts. So I'm like, okay, I can't manage sales. So that's when I went and got, the sales manager, who had been in the industry for years. So I think you have to sit down and have that conversation with yourself and, figure out where you want your business to go and then go for it. But it ain't always going to be you.
It ain't always going to be you. What's some financial advice you can recommend to someone who is building a business and also trying to build their own personal wealth?
You're going to have to sacrifice. So during that time when I was like, saving or paying off my debt, like I wasn't out, partying. I couldn't take the trips. I had to be very mindful, very, very budget conscious. So, for someone who's trying to build personal wealth, you're going to have to prioritize. It's like, okay, your business, if you, invest in your business and put the grind in your business, the personal wealth is going to come.
I love that. Something that is emphasized by a good friend of the show, Mia Ray: stay down till you come up.
Yes.
People don't be wanting to stay down.
Mia.
People don't be wanting to stay down, dog. People want to have it all. It's just like,
yeah.
Monique and Precious, real women sacrifice. Real women sacrifice.
That's it.
So you talked about the trips and the vacations. What does wealth look like to you? Like when you say I am wealthy, when we envision it, like what does that look like?
And thank you for using the term wealthy. I don't like the term rich.
Yeah.
I don't like the term rich. And I look at wealthy people and you don't even know they're wealthy.
Hey.
I'm like, they're wearing regular clothes. I look at wealth, it's just more than money. I wake up in the morning and I can do something that I genuinely love. Having time to, wake up in the morning and just sit, or like being able to go on a vacation. Right now, I'm taking flight lessons. Like that, my time, that is wealth. And being able to do whatever I want with my time.
It's so funny that you brought up the flight lessons, because piloting is one of the most expensive like hobbies or degrees to pick up. Like that is something that I did research on, and you are currently in school for it. Please tell us more about how this hair care CEO said, hey, I want to fly planes.
Yeah. So I've always been fascinated with like aircrafts. I'm like, how does this flying bus literally stay up in the air?
Yeah.
So I'm like,
it's magic. Like things that are like magic to me, like how does Wi-Fi work? How does airplanes stay in the sky is really like magic.
I was like, I feel like this is like literally God just like keeping this plane up in the air. But I was like, yes, but I know there's science behind it. So, and I just love traveling. So like when I get on a plane, it's just like, some people are nervous. I'm just like, oh, this feels so good. So I was like, I want to fly a plane, but never thought it would be possible or anything. So then I met this guy who is also an entrepreneur, and he told me, he's like, yeah, I have my pilot's license. I'm like, And he was like, yeah, let me introduce you to this, and got me in school. And so I'm studying. I kind of ghosted my flight instructor.
It's okay.
I'm going back. I'm coming back.
Go through phases.
Yeah, but right now I'm doing the book work.
Oh my gosh. This is
so catch me in the sky.
When you do your first like private ride, I'm willing to go along with you, so you can call me.
Okay, but you know what? Let me get to the next class, because I'm going to fly you in the jet, not that little single engine Cessna. No,
we come in Airbus.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
Not you ready. What is some advice you can give to people who want to not stick to one job or career or pick up things that are unrelated to what they're known for doing?
Go with your gut.
Go with your gut.
Okay. It might hang over a little bit, but
It's on your heart for a reason. I feel like you could go for it.
go for it.
Okay. We've had such a good conversation.
We have.
Before we go, I like to do this thing called Motivational Minute.
Mhm.
There are almost 2,000 people subscribed to this YouTube channel. If you was watching this and you are not subscribed, we almost at 2K. Get us there.
And it's going to be at 10K in the next 2 months.
Amen.
We're
sister.
speaking it. We're speaking it.
Amen. I need you to give some words to motivate some people, okay?
Mhm.
So I'm going to tell you who you're talking to. You're
Mhm.
going to look in your camera and you're going to give the people some words to encourage them, okay?
Okay.
All right. To the person stepping into a role they aren't sure they're ready for.
Trust yourself. It's okay to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
Get you a mentor. Get you a mentor. I understand, the finances may be different. You may not have the money to pay for, but it's so important to have a mentor like in your industry or the field that you want to grow in. What is something else? I think that's it.
All right. To the person who is building a legacy for their family,
Mm-hmm.
what would you tell them?
Be bold, be courageous. Just looking at my story, it took one person being bold and courageous.
Every family legacy start with one risk taker or one thief. You
Yep.
can be either or.
Please be the risk taker.
Oh, please, so responsible. The last one, to
Mhm.
the fellow female business owner who feels too intimidating or too bossy.
Keep showing up as yourself, authentically yourself. You belong here.
Okay, the scared one's gonna fall off. I say that all the time.
Okay.
You don't want nobody scared beside you. Okay, if you feel like you are too intimidating or too bossy, the people who are scared, you don't need to be in business with them
No.
anyway.
Show up.
What's next for Aris? Whether it's TGIN related, personal related, like what space are you in now or trying to move into?
Oh, so Aris is really focused on relationships. I want to be a wife. I want to be a
I
mom.
love that.
So that's next on the agenda. So I have been focused on that. Business will be business.
I love when women are intentional
Yeah.
about saying they want to
Oh,
be a
yeah.
wife. I feel like people are scared to say that aloud.
Oh no, I'm gonna be somebody's son gonna get the best heel version of me. Okay, somebody's son is gonna be very
I
happy.
love that.
Yeah, but I'm excited. I can't wait to be a mom. So that's what's next
I
up.
really like being a mom.
Okay.
If I could make a recommendation, being a mom is one.
You are such an amazing mom, though.
Please, that means so much to me.
You are, no, seriously. Like, I see you on Instagram and I see Claire. She's so happy. Like, keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
I'm
and
for
your
real.
babies will be just as happy with
Thank
a
you.
boss as
I'm gonna bring them
CEO
here on the
mom.
couch.
Please tell them I sat
Show
on
ass when we finish this interview.
Okay, I love that so much. Thank God we made it to the end of this interview.
Yes.
Thank you so much for all of your knowledge and expertise. And I am so excited to see what TGIN does next. With the brilliant mind that sat beside me on this couch, baby, I know it's gonna go far. And like I said,
Thank
when we hit
you.
them 10 M's, when we hit that 100 M's,
Okay.
baby, we gonna sit right back down with one
Yes,
another. Okay?
ma'am. But in the meantime, we're gonna have a good time in the background. Okay.
If you like this episode, of course, make sure you comment, you like, and you subscribe to the Uprising TV. Make sure that you buy lots of TGIN, and make sure you keep supporting us Black women so we can keep
Yes.
creating and living our dreams and building legacies for our family.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for watching. See ya.
Thank you.